Hey, how's it going? So there's been some speculation in the group that I am in fact a drunken bum and that I am not a successful entrepreneur. I want to come clean. I am in fact a drunken bum, and I'm the reason that I turn up over here with my eyes all looking shitty and I'm scratching my face and doing all those funky things that you see. It's because of all the alcohol I'm consuming and laying out in the street and so on. Not because I've been sitting at the computer all day long working on products for our customers and trying to keep this very successful, well-oiled machine running. Now, with the jokes aside, it's actually quite funny to me because I think that there are two types of people in this world: those people who are of substance and those people who like to pretend that they are people of substance. And the people who pretend, they put a lot of energy and effort into appearing like they're successful, appearing like they know what they're doing, appearing like they're intelligent, and so on and so forth. And they'll put a lot of work and effort and energy into that. And people of substance don't really care whether you believe or know that they are or are not successful, good at or not good at, whatever it is. They don't really care. What they care about is the reality of the situation, which is the category that I always like to be in. I don't care if people know that I'm successful, if people know that think that I am rich or intelligent or whatever. I care that I am those things. And as long as those things are true, I am good. I am good with that. As long as the things that I am actually trying to be are true, that's good with me. Now, as far as, I did want to talk about this. I am maybe a little bit thin-skinned about it. Yes. So perhaps that is, maybe that's part of it. I'm not. I try not to be, but one can't help it. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is I think that we all go through this. You get our share of trolls, right? You get the guy who'll come along and tell you, you'll send out an email and somebody will write back and he'll pick on your grammar, your punctuation, your spelling, or some dumb thing that has got absolutely nothing to do with what the email topic was about or anything to do with really anything. Clearly, this is not a serious character, whatever it is that you're emailing about, whether it's, arthritis, pain, or taxes, or whatever it is that you're selling, whatever kind of product or information that you're selling. Clearly, they're not serious about solving their problem. They're clearly not a serious customer. And the only reason they are writing back to you and talking about things that have absolutely no relevance to the thing at hand is just to draw some sort of sick attention to themselves, to sort of get a reaction out of you. And it's very tempting when you get those emails back, those responses back from people, to sort of generalize because they tend to be very vocal. And that's another thing I want to point out. That those people who are extremely vocal, the most obnoxious, the dumbest of people for the most part, they tend to be the loudest, whereas the people of substance tend to be much more quiet. They tend to be more under the radar. These guys will send you an email, just so I don't digress. I'll get back to this in a minute. So they'll send you an email. They'll be like, your spelling is this and that, or your emails are way too long, can't be bothered to read your shit, whatever it is that they'll tell you, something that's mean. And at first your knee-jerk reaction is that, what a dickhead, fuck this guy. And you get all, really annoyed. And maybe even you'll write back some mean message back. I don't know how you deal with it. Personally, what I do is I'll write the mean message and then I'll hit delete instead of send. So I'll get it out of my system and then I wouldn't actually send it because it's not a good idea to acknowledge those people for the most part. Another thing that I do with those emails is I tend to turn them into basically an email to the list where I can, showcase how, okay, if you think like this guy, then you are, obviously something is wrong with your approach, and here's what I think of that, and I turn it into an opportunity to sell my product. But apart from all of that, like I said, this is one voice, right? And so if you take that to heart, if you take it personally, so like I said, thin skinned, there's two types of thin skinned. There's thin skinned where you have your reaction, you feel a little bit sensitive to what they said, you feel annoyed, you want to say something back. Yeah. Okay, that's thin-skinned, but you also have to have enough confidence to recognize that, look, out of, let's say you have a list of 1,000 people and there's one dickhead wrote to you this message. Guess what? There's 999 people who didn't have the same issue, or at least didn't have enough of an issue to write back to you and say this. Now, there are times, so you can what I meant to say is you can totally ignore that sort of reaction from people. You can ignore it and just take it to be not anything to be concerned with, right? Because it's one idiot. That's what it is. It's one idiot who's, trying to get attention on himself somehow. It's the wrong kind of attention. And he's a loser. Forget him. Move on. You keep doing what you're doing. So if you make the mistake of allowing that one email back to make you feel like you've got to, maybe I'm emailing too much. Maybe I should tone it back. Maybe my emails are too long. From one idiot who's complaining, that is not clever. You don't do that. But you have to be also smart enough to recognize when you are getting some consistent feedback about something that's not working. So, for example, if you keep seeing people complaining about, for example, the frequency of your emails, perhaps there's a problem there. Now, the issue might not be that you're emailing too frequently. It might be that you're targeting the wrong kind of people. Maybe you're not preparing people well enough for the kind of email that you're sending. You're not priming your prospects well enough, whatever it is. It might not be the issue that they are talking about, because at the end of the day, they're not telling you necessarily that their advice is not necessarily valuable. Their feedback could be valuable in that it is multiple. If you're getting multiple reactions the same way, then you are hearing back you're getting an echo back from your market that's telling you that something you're doing isn't right, right? What the solution is not with them, it's with you, of course, but you can at least know that something might not be right with what you're doing, right? So I think it's really important to distinguish between the two things. Don't fall into the trap, because I've seen people that just they completely ignore everything, all the signals that are coming at them, and they oh, whatever, and they just dismiss all that stuff because they can't take the criticism, and so they find it easier to just find fault on the other side. But then there's the other type who will take one case where somebody was critical and then feel really, really self-conscious about it, and maybe modify their what is otherwise good working behavior on the basis of it. So if you get one person complaining out of 1,000 subscribers, for instance, probably not really, you don't really have a problem there. If you get one person out of 10,000 subscribers complaining, probably not a real issue. If you get somebody complaining every once in a while about this thing, it's probably not a major issue. But if every time you send out an email, you get back some feedback that, that is around the same thing, your emails are too long, or you're emailing too often, or something like that, then there might be something that needs to be fixed. All right. So let's put that aside for the time being. The other thing I wanted to talk about, well, still to the same sort of a topic, but the idea that people who are people of substance, people who are most obnoxious and often know the least are the loudest. Now, a lot of people don't actually recognize this. It's unfortunately, most people don't realize that the loudest guy, the best presented looking guy, or whatever it is not necessarily the one who has your best interests at heart, that knows how to serve you or to help you, or any of that stuff. They just, look good. It feels good. It feels right. I had a little anecdote to tell where I sort of, figured this out for myself. I know that it's probably not news to most of you, but Years ago, I worked with a guy so we were selling a pay-per-click product and a pay-per-click training product. And the reality was, and I knew this, he knew absolutely almost zero about pay-per-click, like literally, especially Google pay-per-click. He wasn't on Google, hadn't advertised on Google for quite some time. He was my partner in the project, so I could not, call him out and make him, look like an idiot in front of our students. But I also recognized that he was giving the wrong information, and this was not. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to teach my students the wrong stuff. I didn't want people to say that, you taught us when I didn't. It wasn't me. I didn't agree with what he was saying. So I felt a responsibility to somehow, say something. And he would always, somebody would ask a question and he would answer. He would answer it immediately. He wouldn't give me an opportunity to say anything. He wouldn't you don't know the answers, dude. You clearly, know for a fact that you're not on Google. You're not running ads on Google. So maybe if I were in his place, I would just defer to the person who I believe to be, more experienced at it than me, who knows the answers to these things. But no, he would jump in, he would give the answer immediately, and so I wouldn't have a chance. And the only thing I could do then would be to contradict him and to say something opposite. So I was getting frustrated with the situation, and then it occurred to me that there's always some dickhead, and I'm talking about, one of the students or whatever, he'll come on, he'll say something, you say it so confidently and so loudly and so stupidly. I'm just sitting there, like the student will be asking the question or whatever, and I'll be like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you're so stupid. Do you not even understand? Do you hear yourself? You don't make any sense. Like, what the fuck are you saying? And like that'd be the conversation, my internal conversation. And this guy would be talking so confidently that it's almost like he actually knows what he's saying, except that anybody who knows anything about anything knows that this is not the case. And so I thought, well, you know what? I'm sitting here embarrassed when I actually know what I'm talking about. I'm embarrassed to raise my voice and to say what needs to be said when I know the right answer. And when there are people who don't know the right answer, who are way more confident than me, who are speaking as if they don't. And people don't, like, nobody's laughing at them. No, but maybe they're laughing at them behind their back. Maybe they're thinking similar things to me. What an idiot. But nobody's like humiliating them. Nobody's making them feel bad for it. That guy's just going around thinking that what he's saying is perfectly normal and natural. And so I resolved from that day forth that when the question came up, I would just speak over my colleague louder than him and answer the question so that he would shut up, because it didn't make sense to contradict him after he's spoken, and it didn't make sense to there wasn't really a way around this issue. And I also didn't feel good about confronting him and saying, dude, can you maybe that would have been the better way to do it, to say, hey, dude, since you haven't been on Google for a while and you don't know anything about it, maybe when people ask questions to do with Google, just leave those to me. I should have probably done that. That might have been a better approach, but I tend to be non-confrontational like that. So yeah, with so that's kind of the little anecdote I wanted to say on that. The other thing I wanted to say was about this idea of. So I want to talk about the presentation of these videos, because I feel like I need to say something about it. In the first place, I'm not a video guy. I don't like it. Never liked to do videos. I've never liked to do video sales letters. I don't like to turn up on video. I don't like to see my picture on my site. I don't like to do any of that stuff. I see these guys, they're very vain. They have like 6 photos of themselves all over the site, all over their sites. They love to see pictures of themselves. They love to see their names. I'm not one of those people. I'm not also the most confident on my feet. This is why I've never done face-to-face sales very well. I learned it mechanically. I figured it out. I figured out how to do sales in person, but it's just not my cup of tea. All right. And I find that all the people who don't like writing and prefer speaking are non-intellectual people. No, nothing wrong with that. That's that's your capabilities. You want to be that way. That's fine. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody who is a good orator is necessarily not intellectual, because I've known people who are quite intelligent and very good orators. They're also good writers and communicators, and they speak very well. But those people, that is, sometimes that is a gift. That is not a gift I have. I don't speak on my feet very well. And I don't come off very confident. Now, I'm in good company with this, by the way. With the, hesitations and humming and erring and so on, that's not out of stupidity or of not knowing what you don't know your material. What happens is, and you'll notice that a lot of highly intelligent people, they tend to do this. They and and it's really difficult. Their words are really difficult to come out sometimes. Elon Musk is a great example of that. If you've ever seen the guy speak, sometimes it's like pulling teeth listening to him, just because the ideas take so long to come out. But when they do, they tend to be quite profound. Another example is Mark Cuban. I think that is his name. He's a billionaire, and he's the same way. These are not people who are of low quality or low substance people. They are legitimate, genuine people who actually know their stuff. But they don't present well. All right. That doesn't mean that what they have to say is not valuable. It doesn't mean that what they whatever they need when they speak, that what they're saying, they don't know what they're talking about. It's just a matter of this. I think that what happens is that the ideas, the thoughts are racing much faster than the rate at which we speak, and so it's very difficult then to try. And you also got to take those complex thoughts and sort of simplify them down, so that when you say them to somebody who is not at the same intellectual level, they can actually comprehend those ideas. And so it makes it difficult for those ideas to come out. Anyway, that's besides the point. I much prefer writing, because with writing, I'm able to then organize myself, my thoughts. I can go back and edit and fix things and so on. But what happened with this particular idea, so there's another lesson in this for you guys, I think. What happened was, if you guys even look back at the beginning of when I started the group, I asked the question. I said, can we do voice notes in here? And the reason was that originally I was writing, I would give my email writers voice notes of my thoughts on a particular topic that they're going to then write an email about. And so those voice notes, they represented my way of saying something. They represented my thoughts on a thing, and it was a very compact and easy way then because if I was going to write it, I may as well write the email. If I was going to write it to them in text, I may as well write the email. So saying it in audio, in a voice note, and sending it to them made a lot more sense. But I was creating these voice notes anyway, and I thought, hey, what if I took these voice notes and I turned them into, and I just shared them with everybody, because that is, the voice notes are raw. That's true. They're raw compared to the emails, but they are very much originally mine, and they give more nuance and an opportunity to get deeper on a topic, maybe digress a little bit, on some of the things that are not well done inside of an email, especially in a sales pitch. Whereas with video, it's more of, because emails tend to be, drive towards a sales pitch, they need to stay on point. Whereas with video, it doesn't have to, it can be content. It can be thought of as like a podcast or something like that. So I thought, this would be possibly a good way to do it. Create voice notes and share them with my people. But unfortunately, Facebook does not allow the voice note very well, which means that now I have to actually sit in front of a video camera and do this recording you could send a voice note. It's just not easily played. It's hard to consume a voice note compared to video in Facebook. So I figured I've got to probably do it in video. And I think the first video I sat down, I recorded it. I don't know how many takes I took, but I did, but it was like a good maybe 6 or 7 takes. I spent, and we're talking about a 30-minute video. So basically it was 30 minutes 6 or 7 times that I spent just to make that video. And I was frustrated because I was like, dude, if only I could edit this video. And I'm like, no, you cannot edit the video. If you got to start editing the video, then you get the same problem that you have with email, that it becomes a labor in which you become the bottleneck, because now you've got to somehow, you create the video and then it's got to be edited, and it's a whole process to get it up. And it's just not going to be very convenient. So I thought, no, if this is going to work, it's going to have to be very, very simple. It's going to be basic. I got to be able to, not shave my beard, not have to cut my hair and tidy myself up for the video, because honestly, that's going to be, to do that every day before sitting in front of the camera and, putting on makeup and all that shit, so I can do a nicely presented videos for people to, maybe think that this guy is successful. I mean, sorry, if you don't think that this is the image of success, tough. That's not really my problem. There is valuable content here. If you like to hear it, you'll get it out of this, out of the content of what I'm saying. You'll listen through the ums and ers, whether they annoy you or not. You'll maybe close your eyes if you don't like seeing me scratch my face or whatever it is that you don't like about me, my mannerisms. But this is who I am. And by the way, I've seen way worse videos from very well respected people in our industry and from outside our industry. Videos that are actually really hard to hear, for example, because they're being shot outdoors, they're shot outside with the wind blowing or with cars driving past or whatever. And I'm sure that they get their share of hate, but people still listen because the people of substance are listening because they value the content that's in there, not the presentation so much. So anyway, that's what I decided to do, that I would just, shoot the video and post it, and I wouldn't do anything else with it. And that would have to be the mode that it's in. And plus, by the way, this is social media. I mean, if this were, if this was television, if this was me going on, I don't know, a Netflix show or something, and there was going to be an issue with the presentation, sure. If I was going to, go and present on stage or something, chances are I would have, practiced the shit out of the presentation before I went up on stage and did it, which is exactly what I do. Like, I actually never make a public presentation, where I haven't properly planned and practiced and repeated the crap out of it. But that's not what I'm doing here. This is on social media. It is a social piece of content. You're seeing me in my nature, wearing, the clothes I'm wearing today, speaking with my hair the way it is, whatever. I've done no preparation deliberately so that the video can come out every day. It's, normally I'm shooting these around 12 midnight, 1, 2, when I actually get to sleep, and I'm waking up like 6 o'clock. So, I'm pretty beat by the time that I'm actually sitting down in front of the camera to do the video. Today it's a little bit earlier because my kid's gone to sleep early and I woke up super early, so my work is done for the day. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. A few different ideas there. Some maybe are useful, some perhaps are just entertainment. Whatever you think, let me know, and hopefully you'll keep listening.